I guess the first place to start is the fact that we are now 5 or 6 weeks on from you guys winning UMK over in Finland. Have you processed it? Have you come to terms with the fact that you're going to be representing Finland at this year's Eurovision Song Contest?
A little bit, but not too much. Like we've been pretty busy, like preparing for the main event. So there hasn't been really time to process it that much. Or that's how I feel. But I think we'll process it maybe after it's over.
Joel, what about you? You're sitting there very quiet. Have you managed to come to terms with it at all?
Well, yeah, it's a real deal. We're trying to figure it out, and the semifinal is getting closer and closer. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that, and also kind of excited. I'm not sure which one, but I feel it's gonna be a great trip to Rotterdam, and it's gonna be a great show. We have a good plan for that, so yeah, it's gonna be great.
And presumably at the moment, life isn't just very normal. You've still got a lot of work to do. You've still got a few weeks to go until the contest. So give us an idea about what your life is looking like right now.
Basically, we're at work. We're doing a lot of work like we did before the UMK, and now we just have to do that like on a whole another scale. Like we're preparing for the show, and we're also doing other stuff. Like we try to think what's gonna happen after the Eurovision and stuff like that. We have a big career to make here, so we just keeping ourselves busy with the Eurovision, of course, but with all the other things going on as well. So yeah, if we feel extremely lucky that we have so much to do. Like that's the situation is not the same with every artist out there. So
Uh,
we feel really lucky.
Absolutely. Nico, when you spoke to Rob, my other presenter here on the podcast, you said that 2020 was meant to be a big year for Blind Channel. You released your new album, but then, of course, lockdown happened and you couldn't go touring, you couldn't do any live gigs. Is it safe to say then 2021 is the new big year for you guys? You've obviously got Eurovision coming up, but this is going to be the big one for you.
Fucking seems so.
Yeah. It kind of turned out pretty good that the pandemic happened. So actually, we have to thank coronavirus for this, because we would have never participate in UMK without this. It was like the only chance we had was to go to UMK or wait for the pandemic to pass over. So we didn't have any other chances for the situation.
Yeah, and we never would have thought about the UMK or the Eurovision like without this pandemic. Like we never thought about before, but when everything else was taken away, that was like the only reasonable option.
Did you think you could win UMK when you entered, or was it just a case you wanted to get yourselves out there a bit more?
Well, of
For
course
sure,
we wanted to get us out there, but like we don't join competitions like just to have fun. Like
yeah.
we dislike bands and people who join competitions and are like, I don't even want to win. I just want to have a good time. Like fuck you, go home. Like if you're in a competition, you have to have the attitude that you're gonna win this, and we had that attitude from the beginning, and it worked.
It really did work. I mean, I was looking at some of the stats about the voting. You guys probably know this better than me, but you got more than 50% of the televote over in Finland, and you got a hell of a lot of jury points as well. You really seem to get that song across to the audience in Finland, didn't you?
Yeah, it was number one like back in 3 weeks ago or four or something like that, and it's still on the Spotify top 10 in Finland, and it's streaming like 70,000 per day, and it's also on YouTube. It's going really high. So yeah, it kind of turned out pretty well. It became a pop hit here in
when
Finland.
we wrote Dark Side, we felt like people need a song like that. Like when like 2020 was hard for everyone, and we felt like people don't want to listen to songs about love and hope and stuff like that. People need a song to scream to, a song to throw their middle fingers up to, and that's what we thought when we wrote Dark Side. And I think the amount of votes we got just proved that we were right.
Absolutely. And I think it's safe to say as well that people in Finland just love rock music as well, because Finland seem to quite often send a rock band of some sort to the Eurovision Song Contest. You know, you think of Lordi are the big ones that come to mind, but I think including you guys, another 5 times since then that a rock song from Finland has gone to the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, I think it's a DNA for Finland, kind of musical heritage here, and I think it worked out. But if you think about backwards, there hasn't been for many years a rock band and not a heavy music. So it's kind of fresh start for us doing a heavier music in Eurovision and also in general in music business.
Now, going back to how busy your lives are at the moment, I guess one of the most recent things you've done since winning UMK is filming the live on tape backup performance, which may be used, may not be used for the Eurovision Song Contest itself. Can you give us an idea of what that performance was like? Does that look similar to what your performance at UMK looked like? Full of energy, full of fireworks, and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, the basics are definitely the same. Like, what we loved about the UMK show was that there was not like all the energy was coming from us, and it looked pretty much like we look when we play live. We didn't need any funny hats or any funny stuff on stage. It was just us doing what we do, and we loved that. So the basics are definitely going to be the same. What we loved was the pyrotechnics and the bombs going like, not only because it looks good on the TV screen, but because the way it feels on stage. There's this sense of danger and fear of death, and I think it just pushes us to perform harder. So that's what we love about the show.
You said earlier on that you guys, as the band, as Blind Channel, don't go into a competition if you don't want to win. So presumably now you've got UMK under your belt, you've won that. Surely your minds are now focused on winning the Eurovision Song Contest itself. You're not just going there for a good time.
Well, yeah, for sure we're aiming for the win, but we have to be more realistic with the competition. To think about, there is a lot of more countries, and it's really tough competition. But for me, I'm not disappointed if we got to the top 10 in finals. That would be a great thing for us. But for sure, we're aiming for the win. Let's see what happens. But yeah, we're not that hard with the winning that we were in UMK, because then we kind of had to win. That was the only option we had.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but earlier today, as we on the day that we're recording this, the semi-final running order has come out. So now we know exactly where you're going to be performing.
Yeah.
Have you seen which song is before you? Have you seen which song is after you?
Yeah, I checked them out. It was Bulgaria before us, and after us, it was, I don't remember, but some softer song.
Latvia is after you. Samantha Tina is performing after you.
Yeah, so we're kind of on the hot spot. There is a ballad songs, and we're on the middle. So it's a good one for us.
Yeah, I was going to say. So
Yeah.
you guys have looked at that and thought, we've got a really good position there to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah. Let's hope the best.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people rooting for you guys in Rotterdam. You've got a very good place in the semi-final, I must say. Rotterdam this year is going to look very different for a Eurovision Song Contest, because at the moment we still don't know if there's going to be fans there in the arena. You did UMK without a crowd, without an audience as well. Is that going to impact on your performance at all? Because I guess for you guys, you would thrive off of a live audience in front of you.
Yeah, but we don't see it impacting us like too hard. Of course, we love the audience. The live shows are all about interacting directly with the audience. But when you know that there are 200 million people watching you on TV, you kind of get that energy somewhere. And basically what we're saying is that show us a stage where to play and we'll go and play.
Absolutely. That's the right mentality, I assure you. Another thing about Rotterdam is the fact that you're going to have to spend a lot of time in a hotel room when you're not at the arena, when you're not on stage. Have you thought about that? Is that are you taking some things to entertain yourselves with? Are you going to be able to pass the time well enough when you're not on stage and rehearsing?
We're going to make an album.
Yeah,
You're gonna make an album while you're waiting around?
Yeah.
Why not?
That is a good idea. I was going to suggest, I don't know, taking some video games or a deck of playing cards, but clearly you guys have got a much better idea than I have.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. We have to grind.
We need to work.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a musician then, isn't it? If I was a musician, I wouldn't last very long, would I?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. You've sort of touched on it already about what your hopes are. I think I get a good impression that you think you've got a good chance of coming out of the semi-finals and qualifying to the grand final. You sort of mentioned a top 10 finish in the grand final would be achievable. Is that what the aim is then for this year?
Yeah, definitely. Like our attitude is the same as it was in the UMK, but we also like we make no compromises. Like the most important thing, win or lose, we don't really care about that, but we have to be ourselves. It has to be 100% blind channel we're showing to everyone, and that's the way we're gonna make the most of this competition. If we just can deliver everything in our own way, then win or lose, it doesn't really matter if we just pull off a great show.
You will, of course, be wanting people to vote for you. You will be wanting to win, of course. Have you got a message for all of your fans across Europe who you will want to be voting for Blind Channel and Dark Side this year at the Eurovision Song Contest?
Yeah, we got a lot of fans in Europe and also the fan pages like in every country. So yeah, it's kind of growing all the time, and that's awesome. We really love our fans.
Yeah, join the dark side, guys. The party's better up in here. Drinks on Blind Channel. Let's do this.
That's perfect. I'm sure if anybody's going to get a free drink, they are definitely going to join you on the dark side.
Yeah, everyone
That's
gets
how
it.
it works.